new media company that is located in Rome, Italy. And here is my colleague somewhere here, Susanna Albertini. She is taking some picture and some video. So we have been responsible of the, let's say, the visual aspect of the application. So the interaction that the application has to have with the user. Next. So as you know, this is the main components of the application, and what I'm going to talk is next about this one, this part, and the integration with the dialog manager. Dialog manager is a central component of the application that well, takes and receives and sends messages both to the other components and also to the GUI. So let's start from the design implementation. Okay, this is the graphical user interface that is composed actually by two elements. The text here is screwed a little bit, but anyway, this is the window application. That is the entire part here. And then we have the virtual agent that is here in this part that is embedded in the system. Go ahead. So we started by the design guidelines and the requirements that came from the the users. So this interface has to be easy to use, as you've heard about from the other speakers. It has to have a relaxing visual layout, more agent interaction than navigation by the user. So we wanted to control everything by the interaction with the virtual agent. Define well-designed areas. So here we have different areas that will show what we need in this particular moment. And the flexibility of the system will be customized and upgraded in the future. So these are the areas. So we have the virtual agent here. This part is the speech text or the summary that the agent say in the text. This is the content area where we show all the different parts to interact with the user. And then we have the main menu. We had a lot of buttons here at the beginning, but then we removed it because actually he is the one, that say everything, and he has just to answer with a simple click. So, and then the logo area. Next. Okay, so let's start by the design of the window application. So let's leave it out for a second. The window application, we did all this customization form, the background, the virtual agent text area, and all the content area elements, actually. So we had a lot of questionnaire, slider box, combo box, checkbox, radio button, the diary, audio recording, and image box. The important thing is that all these elements can be mixed together. So based on what the dialog manager tells the GUI, he will show what is asking. Okay? Next. Now let's go to the virtual character. So what we have to do, first of all, we have to understand what this particular kind of user would accept. So what kind of virtual agent? So a real person, a real 3D character, very realistic, a 3D cartoon style character, an object like a pill talking, very funny kind of character, or a 2D cartoon. So what they have chosen is something in between here. So they like the virtual character, but they didn't like it that was too realistic. They felt like uncomfortable. They wanted something that was, yes, a 3D real character, but that has kind of cartoonish style. Okay? So we start to evaluate the technologies to use. And the consideration we've done is that the acceptance of the visual appearance of the user was one of the first criteria. They had to integrate very well with the other Help4Mood's component. We had to use standard hardware. We didn't want a very powerful hardware to be used in order to run this application. Flexibility, as I said, for future use. Independence from other software house, for character design, stuff like that. And cost effectiveness. So these are the two main areas. The character design was the first thing to do. So we have to design this character, and then we need to move him. Okay, so we need some character rendering in order to move the character. So next, about this character rendering, there are a lot of different solutions. There are pre-rendered solutions, meaning that there are several videos already rendered, and you just call them. Okay, but this is not very flexible, because we had this requirement that the character had to act based on what was coming, so the phonemes and the speech to say. So we choose the real-time rendering because of this point that I just said. We need the real-time animation speech coming from the component, high quality of the visual aspect to be accepted by the user, high flexibility, and cost effectiveness. Next. So, character design. This is the software we have used. FaceGen. This is a software that really powerful, because you can create 3D heads with age, gender. You can have European, Asian. You can mix together, so you can have really what you want. And then we use 3D Max to create also all kind of other 3D things. And then we use the Ogre exporter. Because now I'm going to talk to you about what we use for rendering. Next. Okay, so we designed the character design. We render seven characters. Here they are. Roger, Emily, Paul, Kevin, John, and Sally. So we did all these faces, and we grabbed some clothes from the internet and just stuck their head in this clothes, and we submit this 7 character with formal and casual clothes, because this is a different, let's say, attitude, the formal from a casual, with neutral and smile expression, and with or without glasses. Next. The user feedback. They say they didn't like glasses. They didn't like too elegant, fancy, or trendy. They like something like a person, in front of the door, a friend. So they didn't like heavy makeup, Angelina Jolie. They didn't like that. Okay. Not too young, and no doctor's coat at all. Okay. So next. So that's what they choose. Roger is the preferred. I think he looked like me a little bit. So Roger, Emily, John, and Anne. So next. So at this point we started to do the character rendering module. So is the programming part to run into Ogre. What is Ogre? Ogre is an open source 3D game engine. So no cost, very powerful. It has a very good SDK and .NET, perfect integration with the .NET environment that we have used. And so we did this that is controlled totally by XML data. So very simple. Next. Go ahead. Okay. So this is what we have done. Window Presentation Foundation, we've done the application. We have implemented this module that runs on Ogre, and this is integrated here, okay, inside this window application. Everything is controlled by the dialog manager that sends and receives data from the virtual agent and from the GUI. Next.